Meet Scott Joplin. Joplin was born in Texarkana, Texas, around 1868, and was one of 6 kids. Texas is the home of longhorn steer, barbecue, and everything big. Both of Scott Joplin's parents were musicians. His father played the violin at parties in North Carolina, and his mother sang and played the banjo. His parents gave Scott a basic musical education, and at 7 years old, he began teaching himself to play the piano while his mother cleaned houses. Several local teachers helped him, but most of his musical education was guided by Julius Weiss, a German music professor who had immigrated to Texas in the late 1860s. It wasn't too long before Joplin was performing as a pianist and singing in a quartet with 3 boys that lived in his hometown of Texarkana. In the late 1880s, Joplin left home to become a traveling musician. He found steady work in churches and saloons. In 1893, Joplin was invited to perform at the Chicago World's Fair. The fair was attended by 27 million visitors. Joplin's ragtime music was popular with the visitors, and by 1897, ragtime had become a national craze. In 1895, Joplin was given his first opportunity to publish his own compositions. 4 years later, he published Maple Leaf Rag. The song quickly grew in popularity, and people began referring to Joplin as the King of Ragtime. Joplin moved to St. Louis, the hotbed of ragtime music, in early 1900. It was there that he wrote many of his best-known rags, including The Entertainer. In 1907, Joplin moved to New York City to produce his opera, Tremonisha. It tells the story of a young woman named Tremonisha who grew up in a community where few people went to school. Tremonisha learns to read and then provides hope and freedom for her community from people who wanted to take advantage of them. In spite of his efforts, his opera was a failure and closed after 1 performance. However, Tremonisha was staged again in 1972, and Joplin's opera received the recognition it deserved. 4 years later, Joplin was awarded the Pulitzer Prize for Music. Scott Joplin is to this day the best-known ragtime composer and performer of all time.